ॐ श्री गणेशाय नमः। ॐ श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। ॐ नमो नारायणाय। 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 ॐ ऋतगं सत्यं परं ब्रह्म पुरुषं कृष्णपिङ्गलम् ऊर्ध्वरेतं विरूपाक्षं विश्वरूपाय वै नमो नमः। ॐ नारायणाय विद्महे वासुदेवाय धीमहि तन्नो विष्णुः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ श्री सद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। ॐ ध्यायामि चिन्मयानन्दं गुरुदेवं महामतिं प्रेमपूर्णं क्रियाशीलं सदा लोकहिते रतं कृपालुं सुन्दराकारं समर्थं सत्यदर्शिनं वाचा तत्त्वप्रकाशिन्या शोकमोहविनाशिनम्। ॐ श्री चिन्मयसद्गुरवे नमः। हरि ओम, सुप्रभातम्। ॐ शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। यस्य द्विरदवक्त्राद्याः पारिषद्याः परशतं विघ्नं निघ्नन्ति सततं विश्वक्सेनं तमाश्रये। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय कृष्णायाक्लिष्टकारिणे नमो वेदान्तवेद्याय गुरवे बुद्धिसाक्षिणे। वैशम्पायनो जयमे जयमुवाच श्रुत्वा धर्मानशेषेण पावनानि च सर्वशः युधिष्ठिरः शान्तनवं पुनरेवाभ्यभाषत। युधिष्ठिर उवाच किमेकं दैवतं लोके किं वाप्येकं परायणं स्तुवन्तः कं कमर्चन्तः प्राप्नुयुर्मानवा शुभं को धर्मः सर्वधर्माणां भवतः परमो मतः किं जपन्मुच्यते जन्तुर्जन्म संसारबन्धनात्. This is where we stopped yesterday. Now, with reference to what I called it yesterday as match the following, there could be many versions, but right now I will cite two versions. One is of Bhagavan Bhashyakar Sri Adi Shankaracharya's, and the other is Param Pujya Gurudev Swami Chinmayanandaji's. There is a very slight difference, basically probably because of the word constitutions. Acharya Shankara says, or rather answers, how kimekam daivatam loke kim vapekam parayanam stuvantakam kamarchantaha prapnuyurmanava shubham ko dharma sarva dharmanam paramaha paramo mataha kim japan muchyate jantur janma samsara bandhanat. These are the 6 questions Yudhishthira had asked. Ekam daivatam kim? For that the answer is pavitranam pavitram yo mangalanam cha mangalam daivatam devatanam cha bhutanam yo vyayah pita. This shloka is attributed to this particular question as the answer, according to Acharya Shankara, and Param Pujya Gurudev also attributes the same shloka for the first shloka. I am not going to now describe all that. We have already spoken, so this is only a chart for reference. Kim va api ekam parayanam? For that again both of them provide paramam yo mahattejaha, paramam yo mahattapaha, paramam yo mahat brahma, paramam yah parayanam, yaha parayanam paramaha. That is a word there indicated. So this shloka is attributed as an answer to the second question. Kamstuvantaha, for that anadhinidanam vishnum sarvaloka maheshwaram lokadhyaksham stuvan nityam sarva dukkhatiko bhavet. This shloka is attributed by Acharya Shankara, whereas Pujya Gurudev has taken Jagat Prabhum Devadeva Manantam Purushottamam Stuvannama Sahasrena Purushaha Satata Uttitaha. This is the shloka Gurudev attributes, whereas Acharya Shankara attributes Anadhinidhanam Vishnum Sarvaloka Maheshwara. Then Kim Archantaha. Actually, all of them mean the same thing. All of them are what? Indicators to that Supreme Vishnu. Questions vary, answer incidentally is the one. But because questions vary, if I say answer is only one, our limited human mind will not accept, oh, sumne like that, he has just told anything, one answer for, how can there be one answer for all the questions? Incidentally, one answer is Mahavishnu. That is the answer for all of them, but expressed in different ways. Kam archayantaha, tamevacha archayantam, archayantyam. Look at that. Tamevacha archayan nityam bhaktya purusham avyayam stuvannama sahasrena purushas satatothitaha. Here, tameva archayan is the word taken, nityam archayan. Then fifth question, ko dharma sarva dharmanam paramaha. Acharya answers, Eshame sarva dharmanam paramaha. Eshame sarva dharmanam bhavatah paramo mataha kim japan muchyate jantur janma samsara bandhanat. That is a shloka. And then you will find Param Pujya Gurudev, he puts one shloka for both the questions, 5th and 6th questions. He says, Anadhinidanam Vishnum Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, which Acharya Shankara took it for the third question. Gurudev answers the same shloka for the fifth and sixth questions, whereas Acharya takes Kim japan muchyate janturjanma samsara bandhanat jagat prabhum deva devam anantam purushottamam stuvannama. Here Acharya Shankara, now please note, in the third shloka he said Anadhi nidhanam vishnum sarvaloka maheshwaram lokadhyaksham stuvan nityam. Their stuvan is attributed to stuvantahakam. Here the stuvan indicates japan. In this particular attribution, Acharya Shankara has taken the word stuvan here as japan. Therefore, he says stuvan nama sahasrena purusha satatotitaha, whereas Gurudev, he says, he takes that stuvan here. Alright, these are the answers for the questions rearranged by Acharya Shankara. Okay, with that the questions and answers comes to an end. Now we will proceed further with the next shloka. Yata sarvani bhutani bhavantyadi yugagame yasminscha pralayam dhyanti punareva yugakshaye. Yata sarvani bhutani bhavantyadi yugagame yasminscha pralayam dhyanti punareva yugakshaye. Now, having answered the questions of Yudhishthira, Bhishma Pitamaha now takes up further few pointers to indicate that Mahavishnu is the Supreme. He says, Yataha Adi Yugagame, at the very beginning of a yuga. Adi Yugagame, Sarvani Bhutani Bhavanti. When the beginning of Pralaya, the Yuga, Sarvani Bhutani, all the Bhutani here refers to Jivas. They bhavanti. Bhavanti here refers to they. In our language, born we can say, but here they come to manifestation. Sarvani Bhutani, it is not this body. Please understand, it is not this body, but the Jiva. Jiva picks up a body at that time. Okay, we will talk about this again at the end of this session. Jiva picks up a suitable body and bhavanti, it manifests itself. And once the yuga is over, yasminscha pralayam, at the time of pralaya, yasmin yanti, punareva yanti, again they go back. At the time of pralaya, meaning what? Yuga Kshaye. Kshaye means when it is rested, when it is resolved, when it is taking recourse to. Where? Yasmin. Into him. Meaning from him alone everything comes and into him alone everything goes. Now the question is, and that dissolution is called as pralayam. Right. Now we have three words to understand. These three words are so loosely used without even understanding what are they. One is yuga. Second is yuga kshaya. And third, pralaya. These three words needs to be understood because we use it, of course, rarely, because we have nothing to do with the so-called yuga or so-called pralaya or so-called yuga kshaya. We don't have anything to do because for us today is the main. Today what am I doing? How much can I grab? This is what our mind is working. But for those seekers who want to know, who want to understand, for them I am taking today's class for explaining what are these three important factors. Now that we have taken to explain everything in detail, I don't want to just say Yuga, Pralaya and then go away. Let us understand what it is. Before explaining, let me warn you. These are technical facts that are available in our Smriti Grantha. We know Shruti, we know Smriti, and we also know Purana, Itihasa, Ityadi. Veda, Vedanga, etc. So many names we have been using. Now we are not going to go into that aspect when that particular, everything is explained in Vishnu Sahasranama. Therefore, when that point comes, I will explain there. Now, these are explained in the Smriti Grantha, which we will take it up. Now the question next comes, when you see the details, I am giving you, what do you call it as? A feeler, if you may call it. Why am I giving you a feeler? Because if we don't approach it with the right attitude, then they might sound very fictitious, they might sound very boring, they might sound very, who is interested in all these? Our so-called intelligence will say, what will I do with this, all this, Swamiji? We will show you how important it is for us to understand. We may not have anything to do with all those information now, but we have to understand how intensely the Shastras have worked to make us understand how foolish we are. And they also have worked to make us understand we are capable of moving out and gaining that supreme reality, the Parama Ananda Anubhava. To understand that, we need to know this. 1. 2. The intensity of our indulgence in samsara can be beautifully explained here, for which your attention is very important. For the sake of understanding, let us give this 45 minutes, or rather less than about 25 to 30 minutes. Alright, now I begin. The first word used is Yuga. We will explain that. There are 4 yugas, which we know, the names we know. We will come to that. A complete description of the 4 yugas and their characteristics are there in our Smriti Granthas. Not one. Look at the list here. Vishnu Smriti, I have also quoted the place where it has been indicated. Vishnu Smriti, Mahabharata, Manusmriti, Puranas, Matsya Purana and Naradiya Purana. All these, and not only them, the most famous Bhagavata Purana also talks about the 4 yugas. The 4 yugas, if we translate, these yugas are, those are words, there are certain words, like dharma we said, and yuga. You can't give the right perfect translation to such words. However, for our understanding, yuga is translated as world age. Alright. And are also described in the Bhagavat Purana. I have also indicated the place where it is being explained. Now, coming down to it, 4 yugas. What are they? Krita Yuga, or also called as Satya Yuga, first one. Second one is Treta Yuga. Third one is Dwapara Yuga. And fourth one is Kali Yuga. These are the 4 yugas we know, we have heard of. Okay. Now I will proceed further. Now I am going step by step, therefore your attention is extremely important. Otherwise, you will lose track and you will get confused. So, please be with the whole thinking. Why 4 yugas? Now, I am giving these explanations in the present tense. I am not giving it as the past tense. Though we may say these are all over, Swamiji, we are in Kali Yuga. But the explanation here is in the present tense of each yuga. And every yuga repeats. You know, we normally say in English, history repeats, we say. So, if you call the Krita Yuga or Satya Yuga as a history, it will repeat. Therefore, we put it in present tense. Alright. Krita Yuga or the Satya Yuga is the first and the best Yuga. Why is it said so? We will see the explanations. This is the age of truth and perfection in every Jiva Rashi. There were perfection in everybody. In the sense what? The quality and texture of thoughts that they entertained and the actions thereof were so perfect and the mind were absolutely pure and uncontaminated by pleasures. One is Shreyas, the other one is Preyas. Now Kali Yuga is full of Preyas, whereas Satya Yuga was full of Shreyas. They were not interested in or they did not indulge in petty, paltry, ephemeral pleasures of day-to-day life. They always had the highest thought because they had just come out in the Yuga and in that beautiful experience they only thought about Bhagavan. They lived a very, very, very simple life. And that's why it is called the Hindu Golden Age. Today in modern terms we talk of Ramarajya. Is it not? In Ramarajya everything was wonderful. We don't even know what is Ramarajya. Why? We don't even understand who actually Rama is. What was those period? What was the period? How was it so wonderful? How can it be so wonderful? This is our question. Think. But it is said it was the Hindu Golden Age. Now when I say Hindu Golden Age, do not immediately jump to conclusion, oh, the Hindus will talk like this only. No. Sanatana Dharma talked about this, and Sanatana Dharma in the Samanya Bhasha is attributed to Hindu. In fact, the divisions came later only. That we will see. Alright. In the Krita Yuga, humans are long living. When I say long living, meaning what? They used to live for some, 1 lakh years, we will see. I will put it up here. Long living. That is why in the Shastra when it is said 14,000 years he was doing tapas. You and I will wonder, what do we mean by 14,000 years? Swamiji, something is wrong in the Shastra. No. It is definitely correct. Now see. They were long living. I will show the statistics also. They were powerfully built. What do we mean by powerfully built? According to Shastra, they were all 33 feet height. Can we think of that? We only think of monsters in that height. And that too depicted by cartoons and movies. We have not seen any of them on that height. But it is said they were 33 feet height. A very, very powerful, thousands of kgs probably, 33 feet. This body itself is probably 100 kg. Many of us are fighting for extra weight also. Is it not? But they were so very heavy, powerfully built. But at the same time, they never used the power for selfish gains, because all of them were selfless beings. They were honest in their dealings. They were simple and very happy in their life. There were no room for sorrow, because there is nothing that they could not achieve. And they did not want all the pleasures. Therefore, when I am already happy, why will I want to be happy? Think. Why am I so happy? Because of honesty. I have no fear. I have no sorrow. I have no pain. There is no sin. They were honest. And because of that Ananda Swarupaha, they were always youthful. They were vigorous in serving. And not only that, today we say 100% literate state. This was there in the previous yugas itself. They were all erudite scholars. Scholars of what? The great granthas of yore. And they were very virtuous. Virtuous meaning what? Remember, I have explained values and virtues. I hope you remember. They were virtuous meaning what? It is not that they had values, they lived those values. When? In Satya Yuga. And therefore, all mankind in Satya Yuga can attain the supreme blessedness, the supreme experience of Aham Brahmasmi. There were no need for spiritual classes. There was no need for a guru, because everybody were a guru, everybody were an experiencer of that Parabrahma Swarupa Paramatma. This was Satya Yuga, remember. That is why Satyam is added there. Krita Yuga. Even the atmosphere, the weather were pleasant, and therefore there was no usu like that what we do in classrooms. Our classroom, our attendance, our listening are all secondary. First is my comfort. I should get a proper chair, whether I can sit under a fan or not sit under a fan, both for Sukha Prapti. Remember, we are all dependent on so much of external factors that internally we are so disturbed. Whereas the weather was all the time pleasant and everybody were all the time happy. Because they were happy, because of their, what do you call it as, habits, if we may say so. Because of non-influence of pleasurable things, there were no diseases. Everything was healthy. The climate was healthy, people were healthy both physically, emotionally, intellectually and spiritually. They were all healthy. Therefore, there were no diseases. It seems no old age and its limitations also. It was related to Swargaloka as though. It seems in Swargaloka there are no diseases. Parampuja Gurudev would very wittily say, please doctors, you don't have a place there, you will not have any profession there, you will not have any work there because there are no patients there. And one more thing people used to say, Mother Teresa went after dropping the body, went to heaven and found that no patients were there for her to serve, so she came back. It seems, isn't it, one particular time she was almost declared, but then she came back. So at that time these are all things which were said. In heaven, there are no diseases, no old age, everybody youthful. Similar were the experience in Krita Yuga, in Satya Yuga. And virtues reigned supreme, meaning what? People were so virtuous, so wonderful, so perfect. This is what Satya Yuga. For us, we can't imagine because it is too idealistic for us even to think. That is Krita Yuga. And humans have an average lifespan of 1 lakh years during Satya Yuga. This is about Satya Yuga. Now comes the next one called Treta Yuga. Treta Yuga is the second Yuga. But Treta means third. Treta, please be very careful in understanding, even I had misunderstood earlier. Treta Yuga is the second Yuga, but Treta means third. Alright. And why it is called third? It has 3/4 virtues and 1/4 of sinfulness. Please note. Meaning what? In the decadence of time, the value systems deteriorated and selfishness started. On the other day I said, when the nation does not have a higher value, a higher goal in life, everybody sits back and thinks about their personal selfish desires. Where I referred to saying 483 million people had a supreme goal, what? Freedom for the nation. There were no selfishness there. There were no caste and creed and color and nationality, language, no differences. Why? There was one supreme goal and the whole 483 million people at that time converged together, came together, integrated themselves to achieve that highest goal, freedom for the nation. When one midnight the Britishers gave and went away, now they did not have any goal. Therefore, what happened? All selfishness started. Very many elders today say, it would have been better if Britishers had continued. We might have probably been happier. Then getting caught in all these current situations. It is so despicable to even speak about it, is it not? Why? Because in the decadence of time, those virtues turn to only become values. And the sinful attitudes got injected in the society. And because of this sinfulness getting injected in the society, the quality of life also deteriorated. However, because of the influence of the thousands and lakhs of years lived with values, with virtues, there were definitely a large amount of people who still continue to be good, but 1/4 of the people fell from that higher way of life. This is Treta Yuga. And in this age, virtue diminishes but slightly. It is not that virtue completely fell like the way we are today, but it diminishes slightly. Wars become frequent because the values diminished, virtues diminished, selfishness started, acquiring started, possessing started, aggrandizing started, and accumulation started. Therefore, the kingdoms also started and wars became frequent to acquire and possess. Weather also started changing, because now it is not difficult for me to explain about this, because now we see everywhere the trees are cut, and therefore climate change we talk of. It is not now, it has started in Treta Yuga itself, but there it was very minimal. Now it is in full measure, and therefore weather began to change to extremities, and human had an average lifespan, during this yuga. They have an average lifespan of 10,000 years, and few probably lived a little longer also. Average is like 10,000. A few lived longer. That is why we see in the Mahabharata, and we also see in the Valmiki Ramayana, where there are, what do you call it as, record of saying somebody lived for 14,000 years, etc., etc. So they are not exaggeration, they are not false, they are not imagination, they are truth. All right. Third comes Dwapara Yuga. And in Dwapara Yuga, which is the third yuga, Dwapara means two. Now we saw Satya Yuga as one, Treta Yuga as third one. Here it is the second one. It had divisions of two. Earlier Treta Yuga, the divisions were quarter and 3/4. In Dwapara Yuga, it is equally half-half. Half of the people had virtues in full measure, and the other half deteriorated to pick up all other kind of living where virtues diminished. People became tainted with wrong qualities and wrong values for personal gains, meaning each one of them started becoming selfish. And because of such attitudes, indulgences into the whims and fancies as well as eating and everything became rampant, and therefore diseases also became rampant. Humans were discontent and fight with each other for acquiring, hoarding, possessing, etc. Vedas also got divided into 4 in this yuga, Dwapara Yuga. Until then, Vedas were only one. In fact, it was, in the first it was there everywhere. And it was in Dwapara Yuga, Veda Vyasji brought it together and divided into 4. Vedas also got divided. But people, now this point is very important. People still possess characteristics of youth in old age. Now please note, in the first, everyone were youthful, everyone had youthfulness only. In the second, it started deteriorating. In third, they were not youth. In old age, they had characteristics of youth. Meaning, now like how very many of us have. Let us say, for example, in a manner of saying, somebody passed away at around 68 years. 68 years, so soon. 68 is so young. We just in a manner of saying, say, is it not? And very many people, even if they are 88, not out, think they are very young. Meaning what? It is our own attitudes, our own imaginations. People had characteristics of youth in old age. And human have an average lifespan of 1000 years. Remember, Dwapara Yuga. Satya Yuga, 1 lakh. Treta Yuga, 10,000. Dwapara Yuga, 1000. Every Yuga, 10 gets negated. And in Kali Yuga, we will see it is 100 years. That is being very liberal. Now it is not even 100. Is it not? Think. Coming to this is the Dwapara Yuga. Then the fourth Yuga, which we are now experiencing, is called Kali Yuga. The fourth and the last Yuga. And in this Yuga, 1/4 of virtues and 3/4 of sinful activities. This is why the world is like this. Swamiji in Kali Yuga, and then we have our own statements. Is it not? We are in this Kali Yuga. And it is said according to calculation. Calculations are there. When Kali Yuga started 3102 BCE. It is there, records are there. And so many years we have to go through. We will see that calculation also, I will show you. So 1/4 of the people had virtues and 3/4 started being very sinful. So sinfulness became the way of life. That is why we see today, goodness has no value. This is one statement people generally say. Goodness have no value. People are, the whole world is corrupt, Swami. Why? Kali Yuga. This is fact. This was told yugas before. Not years or centuries, yugas before. Think. And this is the age. Kali Yuga is the age of darkness and ignorance. How true? How many of us have the knowledge that there is something to be achieved, to be reached in this life? Viveka Chodamani says, Durlabham trayamevaitat devanugraha hetukam manushyatvam mumukshutvam mahapurusha samshayaha. Manushyatvam itself is durlabham. Mahapurusha samshayaha ati durlabham. And mumukshutvam mahati durlabham. Think. And we are facing it. We are experiencing it. Incidentally, the first two we have. What? Manushyatam. Without our knowledge, by mistake, we have already taken the birth of a human being. Mahapurusha Samshaya. Plenty of acharyas are available to guide us. Both we have achieved. Not that we asked for it. Some janma, somewhere, some yuga, sometime by mistake, we have done some good things by mistake. That Bhagavan has blessed us with this human life. And he has also, see how Karunamayi is Bhagavan. He has also blessed us with great Mahatmas to guide us towards that. Both we have achieved, but we lack in mumukshutvam because of our loose way of life. Think. People stop following dharma and lack virtues in this Kali Yuga. People become slaves to their own passions. Think. Now don't sit and say, oh Swamiji, I got it. What did you get? I understood. All going behind passions is not my mistake. It is Yuga's mistake. Hi Ram. Think. And Yuga also will smile at us. Think. Society falls into disuse. People become liars and hypocrites. Knowledge is lost and scriptures are diminished. Aren't we seeing all of them? Think. Swamiji, I am not only seeing it, I am experiencing it, and I am also in it. Think. They become slaves to their passions. Now see, this we see. Humans eat forbidden and dirty food. This is not told by your elders now. It has been there for yugas. People have told long, long ago that this is what is going to happen. Think. Swamiji, thank you. So it is. This is how. So I don't claim, Swamiji, Kali Yuga, this is how I have to be. No, you are given an intelligence to discriminate. You are given intelligence to promote yourself. How? We will see. The environment is polluted. Pollution Control Board is all formed today, isn't it? Sharirika pollution, manasika pollution, intelligent pollution, everything is polluted. Both food, water and mind. I should have added one mind also there. Wealth is heavily diminished. Now I am not going to explain all this. We all know, we are experiencing rather. Families become non-existent. Now even the old elderly parents are left alone, and these people go away for the sake of career and profession, or get married to another girl, some other city, and then go away. Families become non-existent. We too, ours one. Family planning. Those days, now look at this Mahabharata. 100 people Kauravas plus 5 Pandavas. Think. Humans have an average lifespan of 100. Please note, average lifespan. At the age of 56, we don't know how to stand properly. We can't sit properly. From the squatting, I have come to chair. I am sure you must be noticing that. Think. Why? When back pain, Swami. Joint pain. I can't stand straight. There is so much of blah, 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 blah. Think. 100 years. Ayyo, who wants to live 100 years? Swamiji. No. Okay, can we go tomorrow? Not tomorrow, Swamiji, but not 100 years. Think. Average lifespan, please note, is 100 years. Therefore, the calculation of the world age, starting in order from the first age, each yuga's length decreases by 1/4, 25%. Now see, look at this. We will think about it tomorrow. 4:3:2:1. 1 is Kali Yuga. 2 parts is Dwapara Yuga. 3 multiplied by 3 is Treta Yuga. And multiplied by 4 is Satya Yuga. This we will take it up tomorrow. Okay, calculation. Please note, very interesting, very, very interesting. It's a joy to understand all these things, Wonderful, how specific, how clear Shastras are. We will see tomorrow. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.